Most people worrying about putting out content instead of being the content. And what I mean is being your authentic self, being you serving. Don't worry about attempting to be somebody else. Show up as you 100% and you will move the needle.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Attractive Mindset. And you already know, man, today's guest, I'm super excited because I've never had this type of conversation with a guest on this show. Listen when I tell you that he's an absolute champion. The stories that people talk about telling on him, just the things that he say about himself, but he's also to the point of, I don't like using humble, but he got humility, how he move around, how he interact with you. And it's my first day meeting him, but I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about himself. We got Dontell Antonio.
What's going on? I'm the king of content and I'm excited to be here. And I'm glad you didn't use that humble word. Humble mean to put yourself less than.
Yep.
And we don't put ourselves less than. We
Not at
value
all.
ourselves. So immunity, I don't even know how to say the word correct, but you know.
Nah, most deaf. And so my guy, I just heard you, do a little thing with Wayne from I Talk Gray. Shout out to I Talk Gray. If y'all ain't listening, make sure you tap in.
Yeah.
Super content, creative, everything that he got going on, just absolute powerhouse, and just the podcast that they got going on. I don't even like calling it a podcast. He got a talk show.
Yes.
Because he really be talking to his guests about just everything. But
Shout out,
I got to hear a little piece of everything that y'all talked about. And so I want to jump right into it. On Attractive Mindset, what we do is we go over the backstories of really how you got to where you at. You know what I'm saying? If they want to see what you do now, they can go visit your Instagram page and all of that. But we gonna get into who are you? Who is Dontell Antonio?
Man, I'm a servant leader. I'm here to serve. I'm here to lead and make a difference and make an impact on this world using content as the vehicle.
Okay. And so how did Dontell get to that level?
Man, creating a dream that I didn't know existed. I'm from the projects, where inside our projects we had the store, we had the doctor, we had the schools. So I didn't even know that it was a world outside of the world. And so my goals then was to be a hitman. I didn't have no goals to be nothing else. I knew my daddy was short. I heard my mom was short. So I knew I wasn't making no NBA or nothing. And so I just idolized like my environment.
And so this environment, where you from?
I'm from Chicago. I'm from the south side of Chicago. I'm from a project called Allgale Gardens. I'm from a block called Block 10.
Okay, Chicago. I don't really know that much about Chicago, but I'm from New York.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so they definitely do get.
What part of New York?
Raps. I'm from Brooklyn.
All right, so the grimiest place in Brooklyn, that's where I'm from, basically.
Got you. Okay. And so growing up in this environment, man, like, what was that like for pre-teen Dontell?
I mean, it was life. Like, it was fun. Like, I tell a lot of people that your environment, you don't know that it's bad until after you get out of it. So for me, my environment, I thought it was normal. Like, daddy got killed when I was 1. My mother was on dope. I'm shooting dice. I started shooting dice at 5. Right. I'm thinking this normal. Like, so I didn't know no better. So I'm loving my environment. Every day I'm waking up excited to go run the streets with my friends. I'm excited to go do stupid stuff. I'm excited. And when you start realizing, when you start losing friends, like I think I lost my first friend to gun violence at 12. And when you start realizing, oh, it's real, like your whole perspective changed. Like, you ain't here to play no more. Oh, this how we playing? Are we playing for keeps? All right, let's play for keeps.
Got you. And so growing up, did you ever have those, like, I don't want to say older brother type figures, but like, the gangs, for us, it was more so like, certain gangs in the neighborhood, like MD or MOE, all of them, like, those was the people that we used to look up to, you know what I'm saying? And then they used to even beat us sometimes because we was little kids running around bad as hell, and it used to be like, nah, don't do that. And we used to go fuck with them and mess with them down the block and everything, and they kind of kept us in line, but also showed us that lifestyle.
Yeah, most definitely. All my uncles are high ranking. They high ranking gangster disciples. So like they come from the lineage, real lineage of Larry Hoover, like really right there with him. So they are triple OG like GDs. But we wanted to do our own things, so we became Black Disciples. So we carved our own niche, you know, and yeah, we was gang banger, terrorizing, standing on values and principles.
And so I like how you said that with them values and principles in Chicago. What's it like really creating a name for yourself? Because I know what it's like in New York. You know what I'm
It's the
saying?
same. It's the same. I
Okay.
mean, it's just they gonna know you for getting wild or running. They're gonna know you for being quiet or being loud. Like whatever your characteristics is, they're gonna know you for it and respect you for it. Like, we know you don't get down and dirty, we ain't gonna expect you to get down and dirty. We ain't gonna put that your way. You know, but if you get down and dirty, but then get scared to get down and dirty, yeah.
And so growing up, you got involved in like the drug side of things?
No, I was really a gangster. I wasn't
Got
like
you.
I ain't really like I got involved in drugs a little later, but it wasn't like that. Like I rather shoot some stuff up. Like I rather shoot people. I rather, you know what I'm saying? Like I rather do that.
Got you. And so what kind of trouble did that get you into at that age? And what made you feel like I really got to change myself?
I didn't change until I got till I was 20. And it just 20 facing 20, but it was just like respect. Like a lot of people don't understand that, but the power of respect is a drug itself. And it's if you don't know how to handle it, you're gonna be wild for it. You know, and it's like, all right, well, I gotta make my own staple in this thing. Like I know what my family members did. Like for that side, like our family was already known for being enforcers. And so it's like I want my own reputation.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so growing up on that block, really cementing yourself in that environment, you know, making that staple, making that name for yourself, being that natural born leader, because that's everything that I'm definitely hearing out of this.
100%.
How did your friends react to that? Because you know, sometimes trying to be at the top, being that leader, you might have those 1 and 2s that really want to fight for that spot.
Nah, I think when you find a group of people that really believe in you and believe that you got the leadership, you don't gotta worry about that. And it's the thing about when you become the protection, you the protection. So I didn't have to worry about fighting for a crown that was already mine. And also I understand how to let my people shine in they specialties. So whatever you special in, I'm gonna let you shine in. I ain't gonna take that. I don't throw my weight around. I respect people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you get to somebody get there and they know they got that power and they throw their weight around, that's when you have that. But when somebody know how to distribute it, and yeah.
Got you, you know. And even in you saying that, you know, I feel that slight difference, because in New York, I'm not even gonna lie to you, they grimy.
Yeah.
And it's just like that movie Paid in Full.
Yeah.
You got the Cams, and you definitely got the Sunnies out there. And so, you know, I'm also a natural born leader growing up and everything, but I wasn't really on the gangster side of shit like that. But what really got me into it was, you know, I got kicked out at 16, and me getting kicked out, I grew up in a religious household. And so I went from straight 7-day Adventist to streets. And so every time I left the crib going to school, it was streets versus that. And so I fought a lot. And my older brothers, you know, all blood, all, you know, doing all of that. And so I'm guilty by associations. And then it got to a point, MS-13 started seeing me with them. I got shot. I got hit.
Yeah.
And when I got hit, that's when my whole life changed. And I said, no, I'm not finna be the one that's gonna get hit. I'm finna hit.
That's it.
And from there is where the leadership really started to come out. But even when that leadership started to come out, I don't really know how to explain it. It's like there was leaders in place, and I wasn't trying to come for their title, but it came natural.
Yeah.
And so that jealousy started to breed. And you saying, that once you get that group of friends that really solidify with you, like it don't really fall like that. And so I'm not sure I ever really had that group of friends because a lot of them did fold on me.
Yeah, but that weren't your friends. They didn't understand the mission. Like don't get it twisted. Now, everybody had they pros and cons. Now, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying everything was just peaches and cream, but when it came down to it, they knew. Yeah.
Got you. So, we the same age, 31, 31. You into content. I'm also into content, but how we get into it is completely different. I didn't get into content until 2018 when I met that man right there. When did you scale into content?
2010 is when I really took it like all the way serious.
Okay, and I was still in Chicago.
No, that was actually I was moving back and forth, but yeah.
Okay. And so what at what point did you leave Chicago and you like, all right, I'm gonna do something else?
I got here to get a second chance. So Georgia gave me a second chance and I took it.
Okay. And so in you doing content, what did you start off with? What are your content mostly based around?
Then or now?
Both.
Back then we started with graphics. Like, so we was doing all the album covers and stuff for the artists. Then I moved up to doing photos for the artists. Then I went to shooting music videos for the artists. And then after blowing up as a music video director, I went into shooting movies. And now our business consists of scaling, business professionals, and really taking their business to a whole nother level, taking them to another level and allowing them to connect with their audience on another level.
Got you. And so you basically went straight from the hood to the content?
I mean, content saved my life, so I was always doing it.
Okay.
So it was part of my, like I said, it saved me, man. Like it was my extracurricular activity outside of my extracurricular activities.
The shooter. Got you. Okay. And so that term, a lot of people tell me that term too is I'm the shooter. Yeah. And so when I really got into the game the same way, my path was more a little different because I did go homeless for a little bit in New York and bouncing around from crib to crib and grew up in the trap house at that point as an adult. The earlier years of my life were actually pretty good, pretty decent until I fought in school too much. I got expelled and they put me in Jamaica High School and I got emancipated the same way. And so my mom said, hey, I'm going to Atlanta. You better figure out what the fuck you going to do in New York. And it was just like that. Cold turkey just dropped. And, at the time I'm like, man, I'll do whatever I got to do. I don't care.
Gotcha.
And so, push come to shove, my boy said, yo, you finna die out here. Because we was really running in cribs. We was really doing dumb shit because I felt like I have no other choice. That was my environment at the time. And my older brother, he never smoked, never drank, but did every gangster shit possible on the planet, man. And that's who I really looked up to at the time. And so it was like, I still don't smoke to this day. I definitely drink,
I don't smoke or drink. I don't do none of that.
See, those be the exact ones. Like everybody feel like it's a stereotype. Like, oh, you got to be in the club and start smoking and drinking and doing all of this.
My mental is everything, and I know how throw it off I am. I need to be in my right mind at all times. And but my older brother, he became an alkie. So I never my mother was on dope. My older brother was an alkie. My sister, my younger sister, she became a pothead. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I didn't want none of that. I seen how it turned people.
Got you. And so going into the content straight from that, or content saving your life from that, would you think that you have any other way?
I couldn't see it. I've been doing this for so long, so it's like it had to work.
It had to work.
For
me, it was more so I went to the military after that same friend was like, yo, you finna die out here. And I ain't have no bread in my
So you
pocket.
went to the military to die there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so but it was better options. The Marine Corps, because, once he
A
talked to me
Marine
about
at
it,
that. Okay, yeah.
yeah, I ain't know shit about shit, man. And so I said, hey, and all them branches at the time was the same to me.
Mm.
And so once we got there, got to that point, he was like, yo, I can get you a $3,000 bonus.
Ooh, I'm there. No.
Yeah, and at the time, three stacks. What? Yeah,
Yeah.
give me that. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that was just your signing bonus. That wasn't even what you
Mhm.
would have made for your whole trip. Yeah.
And so I got it, I took it, and he died my first year in.
Mm.
And I said, what the fuck did I just sign up for?
Mm.
So life completely changed for me. And I went to a combat MOS, 1812 tank crewman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the same shit I did on the streets, same shit happened over there. I went on deployment, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And life was different.
Yeah.
Life was different, but the same.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. They attempted to put me in JROTC. I got out that thing in one day and went to gym. I wasn't playing with none of that. It just wasn't in me. I was good on all that.
And so that was my next question. With me, I surprisingly reacted to the structure of, being yelled at in my face and everything like that completely different, only because I knew that they weren't really like that. I was like, if I go and stole off on them, I'm getting kicked out and I'm going back to nothing.
Yeah.
And so I ate it. Yeah, I took it on the chest and I'm like, yeah, you can say whatever you want, but you're not going to touch me.
Did you feel like that in the moment though? Real, like right in the moment, like when it first happened, like, is that something that happened over a duration?
Well, when it first happened, it didn't happen to me.
Yeah.
And so I had time to process, like, this is how they are. You know what I'm saying? Even leading up to the military, I'm like, this is how they are. But, even though I fought a lot and got into it a lot, I've always been level-headed. And I feel like that came from just the level of I had to figure shit out on my own early. But whenever I did get yelled at, I took it on the chin. And I'm like, I'm not going to act up. I'm not going to act out because I want to see where I could take this. You know what I'm saying? And so, fast forward out of there, on the last deployment before I left is where I really got my financial literacy. And so this is hitting about 2015. I read 42 books on that deployment.
What books?
All of them.
Give me some.
Talking about 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey. We got Think and Grow Rich. We got Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We got The Alchemist. I read all the classics. And even in me doing that, I'm overseas 7 months, 130-degree weather, 86% humidity, 6 days a week, 1 day off, 12-hour shifts. And I'm like, man, I can't read these fucking books. Like, I don't got shit else to do. I'm not going to hang out with the boys or doing nothing like that. And I was like, why can't I read these books? And I thought about the situations that I was in before. And I really just forced myself to hunker down and like, all right, cool. I gotta do this or I'm going back to the same shit.
I love it. I think I'm in the same boat. Like when I got to read, because I couldn't read my whole life. I felt like I couldn't. One time in 4th grade, my mother, she cussed me out. She called me stupid because I mixed up stream and steam. And from 4th grade, I never raised my hand to read. Not throughout no school. And then if I knew it was about to be my turn, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then I think probably, to be honest, it was probably my wife. She was reading probably like 2017. She was reading, like she read Rich Dad Poor Dad in one day, and I had her tell me what the book was about. And she gave me a good synopsis, but I didn't understand it. And so I think 2018 I read it, and when I read it, I fell in love. And when I read with Audible. So that year, I think I read high 50s books. That's why I asked you, because and then it just started enlightening me, and then I just started realizing that all of the information that you ever really want to know is really in the books. And so I read nonstop. I go all the way back. I understand the way life works, human works, and it get real deep.
And so in that transitional period, what happened to that friend group?
The crazy thing about it, they still around and they still support me, but some of them still stuck in that mentality. Most of them, but they still support me. Some of them was mad at me for a while because they said I made it out and left them. And it wasn't the case, but they still support me.
And so do you ever feel guilty about that?
Nah, because everything I'm doing is to help them and they seeds. So I'm always like, one thing about it, I'm gonna make sure that they straight.
And what's your mentality on about once you make it, getting out the hood? Some people want to stay in the hood.
Nah, I'm out. I don't even like going back. Like when I go back, I'm paranoid. So I'm in a discreet car. I'm grabbing somebody, you know what, and I'm moving smooth. I don't even like sitting around my family too long. Like I don't sleep at none of their houses. I don't stay and kick it too long. I'm always on the move when I get near them.
And that's only in Chicago? Or?
That's anywhere. I'm paranoid. So.
Nah, I definitely feel that. Yeah. So, in learning this content, at what point did you feel like, man, I could really scale this to the next level? Because everybody feel like they do content nowadays.
That's now, but it's like I've been doing it for so long is that I really got the proof. So it's like my chest a little different with it. That's why, you go look up the king of content, trademark, everything is really me. Like it ain't just saying it to say it. I ain't putting the title, it's really me. But I really love this content. There ain't nobody in the world that do content like me, think content like me. I am one of a kind.
And so at first I know from my experience, getting into it, 2018, you might have been a little more seasoned from when you started it to now. But for me, I started off doing, I think we had a couple photo shoots and everything. Dan, wake your ass up, man. We had a couple photo shoots and everything, but we really started going into like music videos and shit, right? With some hood niggas out here. And so when we started doing that, my personality started to come out because they only saw me as the camera shooter.
And they look down at you.
Yeah. You ever dealt with that at first?
100%. I know it all day. And then I speak and it be different. They be like, oh, I really respect you. Because first of all, I never let nobody call me a cameraman. I check them. I'm a director. And I check them and I'll be in the worst situation. They're like, I rock with you. And I always was me. Like I never attempted to be nobody else and they just love me for me being me. I ain't attempt to hang out. I ain't attempt to out gangster you. I ain't attempt to do none of that. I just stayed in my lane and stayed out the way. And, but they respect me. It's like even one situation, we got jammed up. Man, they had one of them had a backpack with all types of a good 30 years. You know what I'm saying? And I stayed solid in that situation. When I had the cards was in my hand to give the bag up. And I didn't. And that bag had 30 years in it.
I believe that.
30 years. I'm sitting here shooting a music video. I wasn't expecting none of that. And they respect me to this day. And then I remember one time I was shooting a video and we was in Atlanta and two dudes jumped out with guns on us. My client, he had his Rolex on, all types of stuff. I had a gun in my bag, but it was in my bag. The dudes jumped out, took the camera first.
Damn.
Took the camera first. Said, give me the bag. I turned, got my gun out. He started the Harlem Shake. And, I got my client out of there. You know what I'm saying? And it just, in a slight second, my client, he was stuck. He would have been OVA. Anybody else, they would have just ran. Took off on him, left him there.
Yeah.
But he was under my watch.
And so at what point, and so I'm glad you brought that up, at what point did you really start to, do you have a team? What point did you start to build a team?
I always had a team.
Okay.
Like even then, like I've been shooting music videos for so long. Like back in the days, I used to have 30 people working for me on the music video set. Like we really get budgets, and we just downsized. For our company, we had 32. We down to 18 employees right now.
Okay.
And we downsized because I had got real big on educating. And so we had slowed our service side down, but we about to ramp back up. So yeah.
Okay. Now we definitely gonna touch back on that because I'm at like 54 right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, hey, you gonna see this, y'all useless.
Yeah.
And so it's to just
downsize
them.
Yeah,
for sure.
If it's not necessary, it's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? At first it's like you be like, oh, I want it's not necessary. Like even for us, we simplified our process. So our process to our clients is super simple. That it don't take all of what we was having.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So we pretty much developed the same thing. But one of the issues that I ran into early, and a big reason I don't think I ever really talked to you about why I stopped it as much, is because I sent him and Ali to a video shoot one day in Homestead. And these are the hood guys that's used to me. Me, rich, you know what I'm saying? It's there. I got it on me. I'm like that. I'm going to move around like that with them. But I sent them to go do it. I wasn't there. And they got in a shootout during the video. Dan was cool. Ali called me freaking out. He was like, "What did you just send me to, bro?" Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was, I tried to laugh in the moment to be like, "Oh, you good? You know, everything good?" He's like, Yeah, I'm good. We stopped shooting, whatever, blah, blah. But in my head, I'm like, damn, I just put him in a situation. Like, that's not even their type of vibe like that.
Yeah, but you blessed you wasn't in that situation, because you would have reacted a different type of way, and it could have went a different type of way.
Most definitely.
See, they probably ducked and covered and got out the
They
way.
did.
You gonna turn to Superman. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Nah, G code.
you know. So it's just like, at the end of the day, everything happened for the way it happened, but it's part of the game.
Nah,
That stuff happened every day. Like, you could just go to the gas station, get some gas, and it could happen. Like, it's just how it happens. Like,
And so my next point is also, I feel for me, I'm very big on discipline, and I have a lot of discipline, which comes from the military, comes from me being a natural leader. I've always had to put the world on my shoulders. And so, even in me meeting my first, 4 or 5 contractors, employees, I'm like, yo, I got y'all. I knew the situation that they was in. I said, trust me, and we're going to go to this next level. I ain't never shot cameras and nothing like that before, but he had a camera, and I said, hey, can we use that camera if I get you clients? Can you shoot?
Yeah, that's hard.
And that's what it was. And that's exactly what we did. And then 2 cameras turned into 4, turned into, all of that, and companies and lights and everything. But what I feel like didn't leave me, and I don't want it to leave me, which I feel guilty about sometimes, is the raw level that I have, is because, somebody asked me, do I want to be, respected or loved? And I said, neither one. I want to be understood, because I don't care if you respect me. I don't care if you love me either. But you got to understand what I'm saying, or I'm going to come across different.
Yeah.
If you don't understand the first time I say it. You know what I'm saying?
But is that still a lineage of respect?
I feel like it is, but at the same time, like, I know some people even right now that don't respect me, but even when you say it like that, I guess they do kind of respect me.
They respect you enough not to disrespect you.
Yeah, exactly. And so that level of understanding, like, how did you gain control? Because there's sometimes, even still to this day, where some people will really try me. And they may not even understand that they trying me, but it's like on some like, who you talking to?
We never got credit for beating up a lame. So I keep that same mentality. They don't know no better. Remember, I used to get fired for insubordination. People misusing their power. Right? And so these people, 9 times 10, they misuse their power. They got some popularity and they misuse it because they think people care. Nah, I just respectfully pull you to the side. I'm Mr. Pull you to the side.
Got you.
I'm going to pull you. I will never disrespect you in front of nobody. You ain't going to do that to me either. I'm going to pull you to the side. I'm going to chop it up with you. If you understand, you understand. If you don't, we're going to get some clarity. Yeah.
Nah, most definitely. But
but they do be wild, boy.
They do. And so my whole point to it, and even Wayne will tell me sometimes, like, Rich, you be wilding sometimes.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. They
like,
don't want.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we don't have enough of that anymore, because people don't move off of values and principles like that anymore. And I'm not sure in this realm that they ever really did.
It just takes the right person. That, for me, I'm not playing with you. I'm not, but I'm gonna do it to a way that you're gonna receive it without. You gonna take it whatever way you take it, regardless. Anybody that stand up and speak their mind, if you weak, you gonna take emotional anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I can't fix that. But I got a family creed, right? And so number one is integrity. We'll never sell our integrity for opportunity, no matter what. Number two is unity. We'll always do it together. We are stronger together than isolated. Number three is courage. We will always have the courage to speak up, even if it'll hurt somebody else, or we don't want to say it. It don't matter. We still gonna have the courage to speak up. And number four is legacy. Everything that we're doing isn't for today. It's for 20 years, 10 years down the line. So I don't really care about these folks today. Like, I don't care about how they feeling, what they get. Because I've been in this game so long, I done seen people up, and I done seen people down, and I done seen people pull a David Copperfield. So for me, I just know to keep going.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, and like I said, I ain't never put my hands on a person that didn't deserve it. And I never bullied or picked on nobody that couldn't defend himself. And so I look at it as these people that act like that, they can't defend themselves. And so it just take one little bark back. And it don't even gotta be a big bark. It could be a little chihuahua bark.
Yeah.
Just to bark back on.
Set them straight.
Yeah. Cause you can't get ain't no win. They gonna press charges, do all types of things. I remember I thought he was taking it there. we was taking it there. And actually no, I'm like, oh, we done pull every family member information out the sky, and it was just what. Next, no, I'm thinking he coming for some and he served me. I said, oh damn, oh okay, oh my bad, we was about to go a whole nother direction. See, I gotta realize, like, I was like, oh, I took it all the way there. Yeah, like we was all the way there. Yeah, and he just served me. I felt a little bad. Damn. Yeah, it was, man. And then he had a change of heart. I don't know. God just tapped him and he just had a change of heart.
See, I feel like because I ain't deal with that yet, like
you don't want it.
I don't want it, you know, and that's a blessing, you know, even hearing that, because now I might chill a little bit, because I never even thought about that. Like, you know, coming from our type of environment, like, I'm not thinking somebody finna serve me, man. Like, I'm finna take it there first, you know what I'm saying? And so now even hearing you say that, I'm like, you right. They could do that now.
Yeah, I was at the point of no return. I'm talking, we was seconds off. I'm like, oh, dang. This could have went a whole nother way.
Okay. And so in your content, you know, really solidifying yourself as the content king.
The king of content.
The king of content. Yeah. You know, anybody challenge you on that title?
Man, my resume go back so far. You're gonna have to come to play. Like my like you talking over a decade of receipts. Quality. Somebody who really care. Like, yeah, it's like.
And who do you find your target audience to be?
You know, it gets clearer. It get clearer and clearer. Right now we in a nuclear stage. So it get clearer and clearer. Yeah.
Okay. And so did you find yourself staying away from more corporate type things because of how you were, or you jumped right into it?
No, man, I jumped into it. But at first, like, I always thought originally at first that I had to be corporate. And so like I switched my whole demeanor to represent corporate. But I realized them folks wasn't giving me no attention. And so I realized the way you win is to actually have your people behind you. You win with numbers. And so most corporate people, when they want to tap into our market, they go to who already got our market. I didn't realize that at first. I thought I was going to go get the corporate dollars and bring them back to my people. No, you got to come with your people.
I like that. That definitely makes sense. And so how did you develop into the point to where you like, I'm going to start teaching others how to do this?
That was by accident. I wasn't even here to teach other people how to do it. I was here to learn how to do the stuff I wasn't doing. Because quality and all that, that's easy for me. But it's so much behind that door that I didn't know was behind that door. And I went to learn. And when I started learning, people wanted to know that. Like, so you got people that want the content shot, but some people that ain't ready for the content shot. Some people that want to do it on their own and all types of stuff. So I started teaching it by accident. And when I started teaching about accident, I was just so raw. uncut, unfiltered, like brainwashed, that everybody love how I teach. You know, and it started with I did a webinar. Man, at the end of that first webinar I did, it was $10,000. I was like, okay, this kind of cool. I didn't have to leave the house. All right, cool. Did it again. Next day, made another 5K because it was high. Like I did the replay right back. Then I did a thing. 2 weeks later, I did something and I made $100,000 in a day.
And so you getting into webinars? You had a mentor or YouTube University?
No. $194,000 mentors.
Ooh.
Mentors.
Okay.
Right. And then I did my first like 6-figure day, and then I was like, oh my gosh. And then not too recent, I did like I do an event. I did 250,000 in a day. Yeah.
And so what instilled that into you to be like, I need this mentorship? Because a lot of people still today that feel like they doing bread don't want to get a business coach or a mentor or whatever.
I always value relationships. I just knew I liked what they was doing, and I wanted to know what the hell they was doing, and I would have paid whatever cost it costs. This has been for me day one. Like even decades, I got relationships from a decade ago that I paid for the relationship, and I think it's value in that. It skips me ahead. What I'm a man. People respect who put the money on the table.
Facts.
Whatever it costs, I'm gonna pay it if it's necessary, right? And if I need it, like if I want to. Man, what it costs? All right, cool. Bam. Now we locked in because I know I'm gonna make my money back. Right. It's just I look at it like drugs. Like it's me fronting myself, and I'm always gonna get it back on the back end.
Copy. Okay. And so in building your team, what do you look for when you add people to that element?
I look for integrity. I look for people that obsessed with what they do and passionate and listening skills.
When you say listening skills, go a little deeper on that.
I don't need somebody that want to just run their mouth all damn day. Listen to the plan. Listen to what the agenda is. Follow instructions. You know, it's too many people that want to put their 2 cents in, and they 2 cents ain't even worth nothing. So it's like, you know, leadership, when it's only one leader, and following instructions allow us to all win. But one thing I don't do is take away nobody creative. Like it's a time and a place. But follow the process, because even like what I do is I think about McDonald's and how McDonald's they didn't have the best burgers, they had the best process. They was able to get burgers out in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And so because of that, they was able to scale quicker. And so how can we scale quicker? That's the thing. Like back in the days with my content, I used to be super quality driven. I remember one time I bought a $70,000 camera because I'm quality driven, and I made millions of dollars off of it, but it's not necessary today. Today it's
Sony.
The FX3s is what we use now, right? But just making the process even simpler. And so if they can't listen to the process and listen to clear instructions, I don't want to be around them.
And so in formatting that structure, do you have something where you
SOP?
basically finding, like you finding the work and they full time for your company?
Yeah. We got a couple freelancers.
Okay.
You know, but they damn near could be full time how much money they make from us. Got you. It's just when COVID hit, we gave up our space. And so we went remote with everything. Now we're going to grab a new space, so everybody it's not going to be remote as much.
And I was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's the thing. We went remote. It was just easier to 1099 than, you know, WI, you know, I-9. So
most definitely. That's definitely interesting. And so what made you choose that method over, you know, the method that I took was the middleman approach? Because I don't think, you know, I've always been a creative, but I've never had hey, I want to grow up and be a director, but I played that role very well. Yeah. And so what I did was I was shooting at first, and I was doing it. I was doing what I had to do, but I started teaching other people how to do it to add on to the team. And then I backed off. And so I grew in quantity numbers. And so we have about 54 contractors now spread out through, you know, 6-7 different states. Yeah. And I said, hey, if I get you work, I'm going to take 18%. You know what I'm saying? 18? I don't even know how I got to 18, to be real
That's
with you.
too low.
It is too low. But at the same time, I've never been a money, materialistic driven person.
It's an operating cost, right?
It is an
So
operating
you find the
cost.
lead, you spend the money on the marketing, they get 80, basically 80% of the share, but you do all the hard work. You're gonna spoil them.
And you're right. You're right. I did spoil him to the point, but my mission, and I feel like what I really got into the game was, I wasn't money driven too much. And so what I wanted to do was give or start something that could really add people to the mix. That's like, yo, what you do with this is your threshold. And I got hit for that. I got burned a lot because a lot of people like, yo, this nigga rich, not doing this, not doing that. But over time, when I started getting more people, that 18% started to rack up. And so I found it was a lot easier for me to bring people in at a lower quality level. And so I don't have the people that's doing like feature films, some of them probably could, but I played that card. And, this is how my brain work. I was like, everybody trying to go to the top. I'm gonna stay at the level where people still trying to do cheap shit, where people still trying to make deals and do all of that. And I'm gonna get these people's rates. When I get their rates, I understand and I know myself I can close. And so if they tell me like, oh yeah, I do this, 2 hours, whatever, for 300, I might do it for 5. And then I'm still taking 18%. But now we pushing out in this category.
No, that makes sense. But 18, nah, man, I ain't gonna lie. Lowest it could be is the 60-40.
Oof. Hey, y'all listening to that shit? I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah, lowest could be 60-40. Only because it costs. It costs to obtain those people. It costs to retain those people. The shooter just got to shoot. I get anybody to shoot. That ain't what the magic is. The magic is in the relationships. Not everybody know how to go get leads. Nobody know how to nurture leads.
Facts.
That's where the money come in, and it's not about being greedy. It's a business ship. I didn't take the 60. I gave you the 60. I mean, we technically partners, but I got all of the heavy lifting. Because you could be talented and never get a damn client in a day in life.
I want you to look at what timestamp this is, Dan, and we're gonna drop this shit in the group chat.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and the reason why I never been a middleman because I was always the outlet. So I always was shooting. Like I always was creating. I'm the person they call the middleman. I'm the person the middleman call to do the job.
Okay, and so my perspective on that too, and it might give a little more clarity to it, was the mentor that I had at the time. I started scaling towards and hit about 6 figures.
Yeah.
And that was my goal. I said, I want to do 6 figures.
Yeah.
And I found out 6 figures wasn't a lot. And so I said, bro, how do I do 1 million? I'm starting to like really wrap my mind about getting to 1 million and everything. And he just said, yo,
scale,
chill.
Delegate.
He said, chill. And he gave me an unorthodox method. And I still tell people about this and they're like, that's kind of wild. But for me, it makes sense because he said, learn how to make 6 figures really good and do that 10 times, you'll be at 1 million. And so in my head, I said, okay, I'm not really like hardcore passionate about shooting like that. And so let me do something else. Let me open something else and get that to 6 figures. And so I started getting really good at 6 figures. Fast forward, 4 businesses at 6 figures, all of them combined, they start doing way more than 6 figures. I'm past 1 million now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, I ain't even hit 10 businesses yet.
Yeah.
I'm at 4 doing past these numbers and everything.
And what kind of industries?
And so one is a gaming business, then we got the production company. And now with this podcast, they just challenge us. We had about we just passed the halfway threshold where I couldn't use no money from no other business, get it to 6 figures in 1 year. And so we started this in January. And we gonna hit that 6 figures by like November.
That's hard.
And
that's
so you know what I'm saying? And so that's gonna be number 5.
Yeah.
So it's the podcast, the coaching. I do business mindset coaching, the gaming and the production company.
Okay.
And so it's like
They ain't too
I'm
far.
doing
They ain't
different
too far
lanes,
off.
but I'm
Yeah.
playing the same role in each lane
Yeah.
where I'm just the middleman.
Yeah.
And so I might be doing the dirty work up front for like the first year and a half.
Yeah.
But then I start bringing people in and I pull out.
Yeah. I think for me, I even if I was a billionaire, I'll still shoot content. That's my real passion.
Got you. Okay.
That's my real passion.
My real passion is I would say getting people in the door that's of my hue to really understand, you know, leveraging time and leveraging everything. Because shit, Wayne will tell you the same way. Like he'd be like, yo, you too nice sometimes. Even how you said it with the 18%. And that's my heart. Though.
Yeah. When you got a heart of gold, like I think we all nice. I think we all nice because we came from ugly days. You know, and so just to be here today is like, yeah. But like it's somebody that do what we do, but they do 300 million a year. And it's like, all right, if they can do that, why can't I? And so I look at it in that thing, like, how can I get there? And so it's like, all right, my goal is to do 300 million. And so like, even for us, like scalability is everything.
Yeah.
And the way we scale is more resources. We put in more resources. We spend more money than anybody else in our marketplace. We serve more people, you know. And but yeah, 18, you nice.
Nah, most definitely. And you know, I do take the hit for that, but even with that, I don't think I'd change it because I'd rather people come in the door and really understand and you know, and then even having a conversation like this, like it's only 18. And some people do be complaining about that 18.
Yeah, that was the wrong people because it's like it depends on what you spend on marketing. Like let's say last month I spent just on advertising on ads, I spent about 50,000, right? So it's like stuff like I spend a lot of money, and so it has to make sense.
Got you.
It has to be recouped. It has to be 3x'd. If you're not doing it, then it makes sense. But if you're doing all of that, those dollars got to be accounted for.
Yeah. You see, and I feel like I'm in the middle ground of that because we do spend, but it's definitely not that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's because we do stay more so to the local type shit.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we have big names, but even in those big names,
they
like
cheapest.
Yeah, they not the aspects of like we finna be on the Super Bowl screen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm okay with that because it's a lane. And for what I want to do, I'm not pushing that level of passion the same way you pushing it.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to billionaire status off of media.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing. Like I'm gonna be a billionaire off of media.
Yeah, for me, I'm more passionate about the business coaching. And so, you know, my slogan is I help your favorite brand become your favorite brand.
Coaching cool. I tell people I'm not a coach. I'm not a mentor. I'm not a coach. I'm a leader. I didn't get in this to coach people. And even like our masterminds, like we got masterminds, I throw events, we got communities, like, you know what I'm saying? I love teaching, but I think I love doing it better more because it's like you can teach them the game, but they still don't, if they don't implement and execute, it make me feel some type of way.
So what made you start speaking? I heard you say that you got a speaking engagement damn near every weekend.
Yeah, I've been speaking for the last year and a half. My wife, she pushed me out in front of the camera. I didn't want to get in front of her, but she said I got the integrity to make the difference. And so last year I probably spoke at over 50 some events. This year I doubled that. And people just love the way I speak on content. I'm just raw and real. And I really care for the people, so I really serve the people.
Man, that's reassuring to hear because I was a ghost before. I feel like that's my natural element. I didn't want to be in front of the camera. And so I was building the businesses behind the scenes and they kept telling me like, people got to know who you are, Rich. And so January this year was my first time really, which is why I did the podcast. It was really stepping in front of the camera and showing people like, because I ain't never really been the type before to be like, yo, my draw was black tea, white tea. You know what I'm saying?
Too.
I wasn't wearing none of that white people brand shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I might have the kicks, but other than that, I wasn't really flashy like that. I wasn't moving around and I played dumb. I played a lot dumber than people thought because, you know, a quote that I made was when people feel like they have more than you, they're willing to help you. When they know that you have more than them, they want to use you. And so I played my cards to just be like, hey, can you help me with this? And I was getting help left and right,
Yeah.
even though I knew, financially I was above a lot of them,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to get some gems for them and how they did certain things. But if they knew that, they wouldn't have gave it to me.
Yeah, that's facts. I think for me, I think the biggest thing is I never chased attention.
Mm.
And so I'm not an attention whore. And I never chased fame. I didn't want fame. I don't want to be famous. I'm gonna be wealthier than anybody ever in my history in my bloodline.
Mm.
And I don't want to ever have my bloodline go back to zero.
Mm. You got kids?
Yep, I got 2 kids. I got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they entrepreneurs. My wife is an entrepreneur. She's the brains. I'm the visionary, but she the interpreter. Like, she put it together.
At what point did you
Integrator.
meet her?
I met her 8 years ago. When I was in a black time mentally, she saved me mentally, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? And she helped scale the business because she's so system oriented. So she do, like, I don't know if you heard on the call earlier when I was talking to the guy, he said, man, I don't know to go to this or this, and then I got this, and then I got Gabby. Well, Gabby is my wife. He paid my wife a lot of money to coach him on systems.
Got you.
Right. And she's just really dope when it comes to that back end.
So you met her as an entrepreneur, or y'all developed that together?
I was an entrepreneur, but she wasn't.
Okay.
She don't come from entrepreneurs. She come from, she was working at the airport. And one thing I love about it is she go get it. She do whatever necessary for the family. Like, if we lack in this education, she go get it. If it's outside of my wheelhouse, she go do it. Yeah. When I met her, she was in school to be a doctor.
So you have her helping you systematically wise with your business, or she got her own thing?
We share the business. Like, her team they do all the operations and systems. Like, but she do that for all the clients too. She automates everything. She that's her specialty. She started running ads in like 2015, 16. Like, she was running ads ahead of time.
Yeah.
So she into that. They pay her a lot of money to build out their back ends.
Okay. Yeah. And so, you do content, I do content. So we understand video, just pictures and videos are lifetime type things. And so what's one thing, if you had to say, to or not if you had to say, but what's one thing you want to say towards, your wife and kids, just so something that they could have for the future, just, a life lesson or something that you want them to know?
Everything that you need is already in you. You just got to pull the tool out and use it.
Okay. Everything that you need is already in you. You got to pull the tool out and use it. And so would you want your children to follow in your steps?
I think my kids are leaders, so I think they're going to follow their own beat. Whatever it is, my daughter, she's super fashionable. I know I ain't fashionable. My son, he is imaginative, so I think they just going to follow their own beat. But whatever they beat is going to beat. It ain't going to be a whisper.
And so how do you feel about the quote, hard times create tough men create good times create weak men create hard times? For people like us that grew up in a certain environment that set the threshold to really how we operate or how we move, and add that to that level of business, which is a side that, there's a lot of people that don't deal with hood shit, but they don't have that level of street smart and both worlds. Your kids growing up in this better environment, like,
I'm just gonna see what happens when it comes. I mean, I think it goes back to parenting. It goes back to what you instill. It goes back to what you show them. It goes back to how you help them. Like, that's what it goes to, and they already got your genes. They already got your blood. So they already you. Like, my kids is me already. And so I don't think a certain situation would turn them any different. I think just making sure that they stand on principles and values. So it's what I instill in them. So, because I know some people that came from some hard times that was, weak as ever, because they didn't have no principles, they didn't have no values. I know some people that came from, having some, but strong as ever,
Mm.
but it goes back to what's instilled in you. So,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And so when
But
you
that
speak on these stages, what do you really talk about?
content and how you are the content.
And what's the biggest audience you ever spoke in front of?
Man, I speak in front of thousands. Thousands. They love me too. I love them more.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so you talking to them about all of this content and everything, what's the biggest takeaway you want them to take from that?
That they the content. And most people worrying about putting out content instead of being the content. And what I mean is being your authentic self, being you serving. Don't worry about attempting to be somebody else. Show up as you 100% and you will move the needle. And stop thinking outside the box because you're using all that energy to think outside of something that don't even exist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nah, this was definitely pivotal. This is my first day meeting you, but hey,
I'm rocking with you, man.
yeah, most definitely. We tapped in. I'm out here in South Florida, so whenever you're in the city, just let me know, and we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna link. We're gonna talk. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you just taking the time to come down here. I know you're a busy man, and
Now, I don't know
I
what that word
appreciate
means.
that.
I think busy is an excuse word.
Oh, I like that.
And I appreciate you. Like, just like I told Wayne, I appreciate y'all. You ain't have to do this. You ain't have to, stop your time and make some time. You know what I'm saying? We ain't know each other from nothing. But you like, man, you listen first to see if it was, something worth your time. And we here. So I'm grateful for it. And even your upbringing and making a difference, and empowering those creatives to want to scale and grow. I think that's real big. Uh, Not getting complacent because I can hear it in your voice, like, yo, I ain't getting. Hey, I want this. It takes real servant leaders to want something and to get what they want.
Most def. I appreciate you. And so if people wanted to tap in with you, follow you, where could they find you at?
All social media platforms, Dontell, that's Dontell. Also, what I want to do is give away a free content growth session. If
Okay.
you go to createmycontent.com, somebody from my team will get on a call and we'll help you, build out your content growth system so you can scale, bring in more leads, and serve on a higher
Gotcha.
level.
Okay, most def. Well, Dontell, appreciate you coming on Attractive Mindset. Y'all already know, man, it's Money Bag Rich. If you like, make sure you share, subscribe, tell a friend, watch the episode. Make sure you get this free content. This is a very knowledgeable brother that we have on here. And so, as we always say, we look good, we live good. Life is good. Talk to us, we talk back. We out of here.
You heard?